So initially I was really interested in coding and science, and I was kind of academic, but then I started falling behind school because I was dyslexic and I couldn't do exams and stuff like that. So I was kind of then just pushed away from all the sciences because I always got really low scores, couldn't do exams properly. And then I just found I like making stuff. And then that making stuff turned into like videography and editing and then into graphic design. So when I was about 16, my art teacher gave me a book on David Carson, and I read it somehow. And I just thought it was really interesting, just this whole attitude toward the work, which is kind of like learn the rules so that you can then break them, and to just follow your instinct instead of following all this like normal rules about how to design stuff and whatnot.
What was your inspiration, and where do you get your ideas from, for like just ideas in general?
Oh,
Online or?
mushrooms. I think they're like alien plants. They don't work anything like plants. They don't photosynthesize. They don't have plant cells. They have fungi cells. And I feel like a lot of this world has a lot to kind of thank for mushrooms. There's a theory out there of how life first came to Earth, which is from a mushroom, because we discovered that there's some fungus that is immune to the vacuum of space. So, which means in theory there could have been fungus on a meteor that hit Earth and then grew into other stuff that eventually grew into us. So I first found my interest in mushrooms when I was backpacking in Norway, and I was staying in the same room as a South African health advisor. One night I found myself on a pub crawl with me, him, and a French cruise liner engineer. Don't know how it happened, but there we were, guzzling down 8 quid pints because Norway has a huge alcohol tax. We were doing it in rounds, so quite quickly I got him to pay for a few, and once he was drunk enough, the next morning I packed my stuff and left before I had to repay him for the rounds I didn't actually pay for. Felt bad, but I'm not going to give him 50 quid. I just ran. Nice guy. But when we were there, he started telling me about how he grew mushrooms, telling me about the process, and I thought it was really interesting because I didn't really know much about it before.
Why you've got those pamphlets up there, and like why do you have them up there?
I think they're interesting. I think they're interesting compounds. I've always found like these different things that you can put in your brains quite interesting, because essentially they're quite simple. They're just carbons, hydrogens, and oxygens laid out in different ways, and they do entirely different things to your body. So up there we have psilocybin, originally found in, which is known as the magic mushroom substance. Next to the psilocybin, is the serotonin, which is, our happiness drug in our head. I think what's so interesting about them is that they look so similar, like the layout. Essentially, it's just got phosphorus and a few other oxygen and hydrogens, and that's magic mushrooms. So it's like mushrooms have a happiness drug in them, like they're thinking, but then, we have similar happiness drugs.
How do you fuse your love for mushrooms and art into like creating a piece of work that you're proud of, or like?
I don't think I have a love for mushrooms. I think anything like that helps you think can inspire you, If you've seen any of my work, it's all very psychedelic-y. I've always loved like surrealism and like dream states. So what's better than combining dream states with reality and working out like what that means? Doesn't mean anything, it's just interesting. I think virtual reality is really weird. Have you guys heard of VR chat before? That's kind of weird. People have sex in that game. That's kind of strange, because you can get these like things that like attach to your hands and your legs. So like when you're in the game, your character like moves to the rest of your body, which makes you think if people are having sex, that means somewhere out there are people with headsets on just grinding on the floor. People sleep in VR as well. They just have their headset on and just fall asleep. So I think it's really, really, really escapism. Like you'd wake up and now you're on a spaceship. But you're not really, you're just in your bedroom, in your mum's house. Everything's a sense of escapism. TV, film. The reason why you're watching this now is because you're bored and you're wanting to not live in your boring world. It's the whole entertainment industry. Makes up most of the money in the world.